back on my real stay-at-home mom stuff.
Yeah, I had did laundry today, so.
Oh yeah, I have a load actually that just stopped that I should have really done for this week. So that's but actually that's what we're gonna talk to you guys about today is being stay-at-home moms or dads or parents, whatever. But yeah.
Whatever category you
Yeah,
fall into.
whatever gender you are. So first off, really the whole being a stay-at-home mom thing happened for me because of the pandemic. Because so last year when the pandemic started in March, that's when I stopped working and I had like a month left of my pregnancy. Well, I had 3 weeks left, but you know Kyle he wanted to go over, so it was a whole month. But anyways, so I had stopped working and I stood home, and then because I was breastfeeding, I wanted to be super cautious about even going back out into, work life because of COVID. Like it was running rampant. My nose held just. Anyways, so yeah, I ended up just staying home, and it worked out for us, thankfully, because Malik was still working, but like it kind of accidentally happened. It wasn't like a plan or anything. It wasn't like I thought about it. I didn't really think that in I don't know. I don't want to make it sound bad, but like I didn't think in our period. I don't forgiveness isn't bad. Like it sounds negative, but I'm not trying to use it in a negative way. So, anyways, I didn't think that we could be in the space that I would be able to stay home and stay with Kai. So when I was pregnant, I didn't even think about that. I thought, okay, I'll stay home for a couple weeks, heal postpartum, take care of Kaya, get a hang of the breastfeeding, pump, and then go back to work. But it just worked out.
It worked out in your favor
Yeah.
without you even realizing your plan.
Yeah. But being a stay-at-home mom is a lot of work. And Malik actually accidentally fell and like broke his wrist or whatever. So he's been home with us for like almost 3 months. So he kind of got a taste of stay-at-home dad life.
Yeah.
And then now, I don't even know if I qualify as a stay-at-home mom anymore because I started work, but I only work 2 days a week. So I kind of am still stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
But
I mean, technically, because you work night shift anyway.
exactly.
So.
When he sleeps, like I work when he's sleeping basically.
Yeah.
So I only miss like, 3 hours of his day.
Right.
And then, well, actually 2.5 kind of. So,
Yeah. For me, it's crazy because like when I would always like think about having kids, I've always been like, I would like to be able to experience being a stay-at-home mom because I've always wanted to raise my kids on my own. Not that there's anything wrong with having a babysitter, but that was just something that I wanted for my own children, where I could be home with them, like take care of them and just spend that bonding time with them. When prior to me being pregnant, I was like working 3 days a week as a server at a restaurant. So when I ended up finding out that I was pregnant, Jamal and I were just pretty much like, well, he didn't want me to work there because obviously I'm gonna be dealing with different people, multiple people throughout the day. So with COVID going on, and even though we were slowed down, but still, you're still interacting with a lot of different people throughout your day. So we were kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a step back from that. And then, literally, like once I had did that, then my uncle, your dad, he had just opened up, right? He had just opened up like his receptionist position in his for his company. So he was like, pretty much like it's perfect because you want to be more behind the scenes anyways. So I started working for him. Once literally his office is like really low key. No one goes there. Like Nicole would come over there for lunch sometimes. And even Nana would come see me. Erica would come see me.
yeah, like
So it was like literally like the only people that I would ever see was my family. So it just was like perfect, and like I'm grateful gave me that opportunity. Like around January or December or January, one or the other. He was like, you know what, you just work from home because you're about to pop anyways. So then, whatever. I think it was actually, I think it was a few days after Christmas. So January.
Yeah.
So,
That's like 6 days.
right. So I started working from home then. And then Milo came February. So the whole month of February, I was pretty much working up until literally like the day I went into labor that I had just like stopped working at 4 p.m.
Yeah, right?
So I had worked, but I was home. So that day I went into labor, and then from there, I don't know, I probably took like 3 weeks off, and then he gave me the opportunity where if I wanted to still work for him, like he'll give me the opportunity to work from home still. So Jamal's obviously working, and I mean, it's just beneficial for us to, obviously have another stream of income. So I, took the opportunity, and I mean, I'm lucky enough where I'm able to stay at home. My uncle knows my situation, and he understands because we're family. So, I guess I'm pretty much blessed to have that situation. But anyway, so Milo was born. Jamal had took off from work. So Jamal was home with us like Milo's first month and a half. So he kind of got like the taste of like being a stay-at-home dad. And even prior, I think like 2 weeks before I gave birth, he had already took off. So maybe like a good month and a half, 2 months. So he was home with me my last 2 weeks before I gave birth, and then when Milo was home. So he kind of got like the taste of it in the beginning. But yes, I mean that's still what I'm currently doing. But every day is like a learning experience. Like, and then the older they get, the more they like to do. Like now, Milo's in the stage where he's literally crawling all over the place. If he could lean on something, he's standing. His naps have definitely shortened up, and he takes less naps than when he was a baby.
It's
So,
gonna probably turn into that one chunk
yeah.
in the day, like how tired it is.
So, but I mean, throughout all of it, I love staying at home. Like I said, like I've always wanted it to be that way. So with me getting pregnant during the pandemic, which I would have never thought would have happened.
I know, right? No.
It was just perfect. Like, and I'd be like, yo, I'm so grateful for this pandemic because.
No, that shit pisses me off. Like, I felt my whole pregnancy in normal, like,
I thought it was different for
normal
you.
life.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. Like, I had plans. Okay, so my due date's April. I had plans, like, once Kai starts getting his shots, I wanted to go take him to DR to go see our family. I wanted to take Malik so he could meet them finally. I mean, I had to translate the whole time, but, like, who gives a fuck? So I had plans to do that. Like, I wanted to do all these things, possibly take him to New York, all these things, and then boom, pandemic.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, I just wanted to take Kai to a beach.
Yeah.
Pandemic, and then we couldn't go anywhere. Like, especially because at first it was like so scary. Like, there was so much happening at once. It was like every day you put the news on, and it's just worse and worse and worse. And I was just like,
it's like it just started. I mean, like numbers are still high and stuff, but like with traveling, I would say it's better. It's getting better because I mean, obviously the world has to go back to normal at some point.
yeah.
So, and those other countries, they sanitize way better than your local restaurant would. Like when we went on vacation, like literally every building you go into, you have to wear a mask. The whole resort is like sanitizing 24/7. So I don't know, but like definitely like I said, I mean, like we've Jamal and I had discussed it even way before even getting pregnant. So it was always something that we knew we would do. When I first got pregnant and I had left my serving job, it wasn't anything like, okay, I'm instantly about to stay home. So like, it wasn't anything like that. But we knew the ultimate goal would be he wanted me to be home with Milo, as well as I wanted that for myself and for Milo as well. I would say, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought. What the heck? I was gonna say was when Milo first came home, it was like I felt like it was super easy just because like I mean past like the first 2 weeks that you're so exhausted and like you know your body's just aching and stuff.
And like what the fuck?
Right, but like past that, like when you first bring them home, like they're just sleeping all day.
Yeah.
And then when they're up, they just want to eat, and then they literally go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
But it's like like when they get older, you gotta like engage with them more. So like now, like parts of my day, I'll try to play with Milo. I'll get on the floor and crawl with him or whatever. But a big thing like for me is like I wanted those moments with my baby.
Yeah.
And it's like really I'm with him 24/7. Like I don't ever have to take my baby to drop him off anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you can kind of tell too because he really doesn't like to be apart from me. The only time I ever separate from him is like if Jamal and I do like our date nights where like he'll stay with my parents.
But then you still get to go home to him.
Right, and then I still get to go home to him. Like it would be inconvenient for me to take him somewhere else to go out, and if we were drinking to try to go pick him back up. So I never really. He stays home. He stays home. And then obviously Jamal and I like we incorporate him in our day-to-day plans, all the time. But when we want to have like our random date night, that is just us two. Then he stays with my parents or my sister will look after him. But literally that boy is like on my hip 24/7, and you can tell because the minute he realizes that he doesn't hear my voice or he doesn't see me around, he'll start looking for me, or like if I'm in a different room, he'll start crawling to that room. So it's like I don't know. For me, it's like a comfortability thing where I would feel uncomfortable to leave him somewhere else because it's like he's always with me or like
And
always
there's
with
nowhere
my
else really
exactly
to leave him, like,
exactly. So
of course.
I don't know. Like obviously, if I didn't have the luxury to stay at home with him, it would be something that I would kind of have to suck up and go back to work or leave him with a daycare. But I'm really happy that I don't have that issue.
I agree. Like first of all, the cost of daycare is expensive.
First of all, I know people that it doesn't even make sense for them to work because daycare is so expensive.
It's your whole check.
Daycare, literally a week could be at minimum like $400.
Yeah.
So
and
for
it
that,
changes with their ages
exactly,
too.
it changes with their ages, changes with how many kids you have.
Yeah.
Like,
And then all those daycare horror stories.
oh
I just get nervous. Like
honestly,
I know, like I have friends who have children and they do go to daycare and stuff. But we always talk about like how dang, I just lost my train of thought. We always talk about me and Julia always talk about like the scary stories about daycare, or like we'll share ones that like popped up on Instagram or wherever we saw it. And it's just scary, and I'm glad first of all, I'm glad that I get to be home with Kai and be the one to raise him, like me and Malik. But if we had to put them in daycare, I would be freaking nervous. Like, yeah. So, but I lost my train of thought. You messed me up. But yeah, anyways, I mean, if we had to, we would. But now I've gotten to the point where, since I was not working at all, it took me a long time to think of it, but I finally thought of the business idea of creating my rugs, so I'm getting started with that. I haven't really posted anything about it yet, but I
letting him play with, when he's at that age, obviously, letting him play with other kids. That's also an option, or things like that. But I guess I've gotten so comfortable with staying at home with him too that it's like, I don't know. I don't really know if I could trust a stranger with my baby. First of all, I feel like I'm able to be home with him or be with him 24/7. He doesn't have the need to be with someone else, but if he would, it's kind of like, how can I put that trust in somebody else?
Yeah,
You know, like I know I trust my parents because they're my parents, but even in situations, you can't really trust everybody in your family. Like like it's so scary on who you can trust, and it's like, to just eliminate any issues, my baby's with me. Like, I don't even.
At the same time, like, when we say our family, it's like, that's the family that we've grown with forever. Now, we have a humongous family.
No, yeah, but we're talking about like immediate though.
But like, I'm not leaving my kid with them. I love them, but I'm not leaving my kid with them. Like, I'm not gonna choose somebody else over my mom or my aunt. And then my aunt and my mom is Kaya's godmother, so I would choose her. I would choose you. Of course, I'm choosing Ellie.
Yeah.
Like, Nana.
Exactly. And then one big thing is, it's so beneficial for us too because all of us are so tight knit that it's like, we obviously trust each other beyond, probably more than other families trust each other. Like, we're so like tight knit. Like, we talk every day. If me and Nicole don't talk on the phone, we're at least texting at least once a day. My aunt, I at least talk to her every day. If not, maybe every other day. We see each other. All of us see each other like every single weekend.
I think we're like addicted to each other.
Yeah, we're probably like addicted to each other. We're obsessed.
We're obsessed with each other.
We have meetings on Saturday. No, but we try to see each other like every weekend. But it's like, it's so crazy. Like, obviously, we trust our immediate people. But also, like, a big thing for me is, not everyone is going to take care of your child the same way as you. And obviously, like, I'm not talking about like changing diapers and things like that, but even just treating your child. Like, I want my son like to be treated a certain way. Now, I don't want him to just be scolded if he's 7 months old. So you think I want my son being yelled at because he's touching something?
I saw this video on TikTok that was like, if they're too okay, let me try to get it. Okay, so she said something along the lines of, if they're old enough to know better, why hit them? And if they're too young to know better, why are you hitting them?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Because I'm not gonna go hit Kaya. He's a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like, that's just wrong as fuck. Why
Yeah,
would I
and
hit
then
Kaya?
like, even like, obviously we all have boys, but for me it's like, I want my son to understand that, it's okay for him to express his feelings.
Yeah.
Not being teased because something bothered him or hurt his feelings, and he's gonna be teased for crying by an adult. Like I've heard of stories like that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that person's watching my baby.
For real.
But even things like that, like, I want my baby to be treated a certain way. Like, my baby's 7 months, and I literally have him on a pedestal that's like all the way up to the clouds. Like, so I want everybody to be able to treat him like that. Like, that's just who he is, and that's how he's always gonna be looked at. So I don't want, and I trust that if I leave him with you, or you and Malik, you're gonna do the same because you treat Kaya. You and I we've spoken where we have similar parenting styles, and what we want to do or how we want to raise them. Obviously I trust my parents, my aunt and uncle, obviously, but it's like, those are other things that I look at. It's like, or even sometimes I watch how people interact with my baby, because that also tells me a lot. And it also tells me a lot, if he feels uncomfortable, then I wouldn't be comfortable leaving him alone. So it has to be like, his comfortability has to be exceeded in order for me to feel comfortable to leave him somewhere. Because how can I leave him somewhere if he's uncomfortable?
Just so that you can
know,
go out to do
right. And I'm talking about like uncomfortable and I'm there. Then there's no way he's gonna be comfortable when I'm not I would never, like, I mean, going out is not that serious for me. So it's like,
No.
and at the end of the day, I try to, like, if we ever do anything, because obviously there's a pandemic still going on. So Jamal and I, even when we do date night, we don't just be hanging out in the lounge or a club. Like, we're not into those things. We'll do dinner. We might go to a bar, or we'll go walk around somewhere, or something that we can still have the free time to ourselves, but still where we're not really in the middle of just 150
Right.
people.
Like one day, mom wanted to spend the day with Kaya, so that me and Malik, we went out to eat, and we're like thinking of, what should we do? What do we want to do today?
That's the day Milo met them at the park. He was with
Oh,
my
no, not
parents.
that day.
Oh, okay.
It was like a couple months ago. So we went out to eat to the Olive Garden.
Oh,
But we went and did something like that. We can't really do with Kaya, so we went to the shooting range. Because Kaya, I guess he can. There's like no age limit to go in there, but
he's not gonna want to sit
can't.
still.
Yeah,
right?
like what are you doing taking a baby?
He wouldn't even keep those
the headphone
head,
things,
exactly.
noise cancellation things or whatever. So yeah, we just did something like that. But usually, if we want to go like on a date type thing, Kaya's always with us.
Yeah. And that's why I say, like, we do things where it's like we can still involve Milo, or like if it's one of those once in a blue moon things where it might be something like, say, the shooting range a baby can't go to. But most things are arranged where Milo could come, or if we want to, we have the choice to leave him. So it's like, I don't know. And then I just feel like too, like with us, like we got to experience a lot within our relationship. So we're at the point where it's like we always want to be with our baby, because that I feel like we plan for our baby, like we always want him around. So for us, we try to do a lot of things where the three of us could do something together, even if it's not like, he's not that old where like he's walking or anything yet. So obviously he doesn't.
Out to be running
Right.
around the way he's at.
Right. Obviously he doesn't really know because he's 7 months, but we like that he's able to experience certain things. So like even like when we went on vacation, we had the option that we could leave him behind, but I didn't really want to because he's still breastfeeds. So I didn't want to risk being away for a week, and then when I get back, he couldn't latch anymore, or I didn't want it where it would be a case where he didn't want it, or maybe like God forbid they ran out of breast milk that I had stored away. So it was just like, you know what? One, I'm breastfeeding, but two, we want him to experience going out of the country. Like that's something Jamal and I love doing. So we're like, no, he's coming. So and then especially going back to the Dominican Republic, like that's our motherland. So it's like it just worked out.
Yeah. So hypothetically, if you guys didn't have another kid yet when Milo started school, would you still stay home, or would you go?
Well, I would stay home because apart from me working with my uncle, I also am a real estate agent. So for like even when I go to show homes, I do it in the evening where like Jamal's home too, and then Jamal will even
because people are at work, so you kind of
Jamal will even come with me to to make sure everything's okay. Or like I'll do it on weekends. On the weekends, actually more people like to see houses on the weekends because we can go early in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. There's people that have a preference, but they want to see homes on a Friday night or a Saturday evening because they want to see how the area is. Those are like two party nights.
I
So
would have never thought about that.
yeah, so aside from working with my uncle, I have that. So I feel like we've put ourselves in a position where I wouldn't really have to go back to get a full-time job. And then, my husband, he works obviously, so yeah, I feel like we're trying to set ourselves up where it wouldn't be an issue. So I can always have this experience with each of my kids. So if it keeps going the way we plan, then
I've always worked. I've been working since I was 15, I think. And I've always had a job. Like that's one thing about me, I'm a work. So me being home, I'm still working because let's not get confused. Just because we stay home doesn't mean we're chilling on the sofa.
First of all, a baby is like 2 full-time jobs.
It's 2.5.
And then
back in, I'll go ahead and make our breakfast, I'll start cleaning up or whatever. So that's how my day started, and then I had to clean up extra because it just always gets messy when you have a toddler, Or
I feel like with an apartment though, it always feels
it's
like
always
it gets
like
messy fast.
we literally clean every 2 days. We clean the entire apartment every 2 days. By that evening, there's already like random shit left places. But it's also kind of our fault because it's like that. Oh, I was drinking this cup. Oh, okay, let me go use the bathroom. Now I'm going to the room. I forgot I left that cup there, and I come back out here in 3 hours, and I never brought this. Like it's stupid stuff.
Like for me, when I get up, so I wake up by between 7 and 7:30 normally. Milo, he's pretty much made like his own schedule, which I love because my baby has a good schedule. And it's just crazy because he implemented all of those times. But he normally doesn't wake up until between 8 and 9. So when I usually get up, I'll go and brush my teeth, freshen up. Depending if he gets up like exactly at 8 or later than that. So like if he gets up at exactly 8, then by the time I freshen up and stuff, and I have a cup of coffee, he's usually awake. So I'll take him, change his diaper, because he doesn't wake up at night anymore. So there is no more diaper changing at night. Whenever he gets up, I'll go ahead and change his diaper, and then I put him in his playpen in the living room to watch TV, and then I'll let JoJo outside. So Jamal does me the favor where he feeds JoJo before he leaves the house. So he'll walk JoJo, feed him, and then when I get up, then I have to just let him out. So pretty much throughout my day, I'm just letting JoJo out. Jamal tries to do the feedings because to kind of eliminate that for me to have the baby. So he'll feed him.
And JoJo doesn't even eat when she serves him.
Yeah, JoJo doesn't really eat. I don't know. Ever since I was pregnant, he don't really mess with me. So Jamal will feed him, walk him, and then that will be say 6:37 in the morning, and then when I'm up and out of the bed, then I let him out. So that's between 8:30 and 9. And then just throughout the day, I'll let him out, into the backyard for a little bit. Or if Milo and I go for walks, then I'll take JoJo with us. So in the morning after I put Milo in the playpen to watch TV, then I'll let JoJo out. Sometimes I end up moving Milo to his high chair, and we have a TV in the living room. I mean, in the kitchen. Obviously, in the living room, in the kitchen. So sometimes I'll even put him in the chair in the high chair in the kitchen and put the TV on there. And then while I'm making his breakfast, he's just watching TV and watching me make his food. Then I'll feed him, and then after I feed him, then I attend to him, and then I'll put him in the living room to crawl or watch TV while he's playing with toys. Then I get to eat my breakfast. So sometimes I'm eating breakfast at 10. But that's the life of a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
So.
And then me, I've told y'all before, I don't eat in the once I wake up.
Yeah.
So I'll make Kai's breakfast, unless I'm just magically hungry, I'll eat at the same time. But then I gotta feed the dogs, and now there's 2, so I gotta make 2 plates, and 2 different plates because he's a little puppy.
Yeah.
And then you're making breakfast, and then you're making lunch, and then you're making dinner. And don't get me wrong, I know Malik used to watch that. I do not cook every day at all. I can cook, but I cannot cook everything. So sometimes I get tired of what I make, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm making tonight. I need some.
Why don't you look up different recipes?
I do. Every time I try a different recipe, it comes out disgusting. And I add, you do what the recipe says, but then you add some of your own stuff too, because most of the time it probably is going to be bland or something. It's just not going to be right. It still does, no, I have to call Malika to help correct it, if he can.
Then we need to cook together one day, because I need
No,
to see,
we
because
do need to.
normally, what I do, if I'm ever doing a new recipe, I mean, I follow it to, whatever they put in it, but obviously, when I cook, I don't follow those measurements. Those measurements are not correct.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'll use the ingredients they're using, and then I'll just put, I my stuff. But normally, if I do a recipe, it comes out good, and then from there, what I'll do is, I always ask for Jamal's opinion, did you like it? And then, I'll say, next time, should I add, a pinch of this, or should I add a little bit more of this, or, whatever, just to kind of you're using that for a specific recipe, so you shouldn't be putting like your go-to spices in there because there's a reason why they're using certain spices because they react better together.
Um, one thing that I wanted us to talk about was like, you hear kind of laughing. The stresses of being a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Like, it seems so simple when you're looking out this window.
Yeah,
When you're
on the
looking
outside
in
in.
from that window right there, and it looks like, oh, me and Kai are in here chilling, like we're good, whatever. But it's just like when I wake up, my day starts. There's no
Yeah.
waking up and chilling on my phone for a little bit. Like, no. Like once you wake up, if I don't, what I usually do is, well, what I was doing, and then Malik got me in this bad routine. So now I started well today. Thank God I didn't. Anyways, wake up and like I said, I like to prepare myself so that way I am fully up and I'm ready, or else I'm gonna be tired. So I have to go brush my teeth before I grab Kyra, before I do anything for anybody else. I gotta make sure I brush my teeth, use the bathroom, and get a shower in if I need it, whatever. So if I need it. Anyways, so yeah, I have to do those things because that's the only me time I'm gonna have until 7 o'clock. Because the rest of my day is all revolved around Kaya and the dogs too, but we're talking about the kids here. So like,
And you can only get so much done while that happens.
Yeah, exactly. And Kaya is good at the point that he when he does take his nap, like I'll put him to take a nap at 2 o'clock, and he'll sleep till like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Like he'll sleep that long. And I'll just let him, unless we have to go outside to leave or something, I'll wake him up. But if not, then I just let him. But if he's sleeping past 5 o'clock, I'm like, okay, dude, it's time to get up. Like, why are you sleeping?
Yeah.
We're gonna sleep till tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But so I'll have a little break in that time. But in that time, I'm usually like, if I did laundry, I'll go ahead and start folding the clothes because I cannot fold clothes around Kaya because he literally grabs them and goes.
Yeah.
He just throws them. Like he just picks it up and flicks it. He doesn't even like. What are you doing that for? He does it on purpose too. Or he'll go and he'll knock down the whole pile. I'm like, dude, you just watched me sit here for 20 minutes and fold all this stuff. So yeah, or sometimes I'll even go ahead and take a nap, but I'll put my alarm so that I can wake up in like an hour or something, just in case he did wake up and I didn't hear him. But like I said, I don't have any me time until he goes down for the night, and then that's when I'm finally like, okay. But then Malik is like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. I've been doing stuff all day long for everybody. Just give me a second.
And you do have like your own stresses. Like for me, I'm in the stage where my baby's starting to like teeth, so his gums bother throughout the day. So like that causes him to try to fight his naps up until like he's absolutely cranky, and then finally I can just put him on the boob and he knocks out. So it's like, there's that. Or like sometimes he might have a day where he's like extra clingy and he does not want to be put down. So then I might have to deal with that. Or just some days you battle it where you have the baby, you have laundry, you have to clean up, you have to do this. And plus I still answer the phone and I'm working. So there are some stressful days, but I try to really not ever take all my stress on him. So like what I'll do, Jamal gets home, normally like Jamal will shower, change, and then he'll take Milo and they'll have like their bonding time. Then that's pretty much my time. Like I'll go, I don't know, do anything, whatever it is that I feel like I have to do. Or even sometimes I might just hang out with them, but I'm not necessarily the one like taking control of, Milo and stuff. But I mean, some days are better than others. Obviously, just like anything, you're gonna have bad days. And our babies are human. They're not 100% happy every single hour, every single minute of the day. So, I mean, at the same time, that's what I always think of, like, especially like if I'm having a stress day, I'm like, babies are allowed to have bad days. Like, they're just like us. There's sometimes you might wake up and you're like, I really don't know why, but I'm not doing like, just anything,
fucking shit up.
Right. So, like the most important thing to me is just like not to ever take stress out on him, but you do have stressful days. Just like, I mean, if you would sit at a 9 to 5, or even if you have your own company, you're going to have stressful days. So it's it's similar to a job, you know, like you're taking care of your baby, but you're gonna have those stressful moments just like anything else.
And then no matter how many times you clean up, you're literally cleaning up
All
day
day long.
all day long.
They always want a different toy, and then you put away the toys that they finished playing with because they moved on to something else, and then they want that toy again. Or like with my baby, he's in the crawling stage, so he's constantly like just all over the place, and he crawls fast.
Yo, I just thought of something. I have a fruit bowl, right? I usually keep it on my dining room table. What does Kyle do? So I had to move it back to the kitchen. He pulls the chair out, climbs onto the chair, climbs onto the table to go get the fruit. You know what he did? I had cuties in there, the little tiny tangerines or clementines, whatever they are. He literally just bit it and ate the
Like an apple, the skin was on
the entire thing. He ate the whole thing like that. What the fuck is wrong with you? And then he was walking around with garlic powder going, it wasn't open, thank God, but he was going like this. I guess he's seen us use it all the time, so he knows how to use it. Just walking around the house, biting a fucking cutie, sprinkling fake garlic powder all over the place. First of all, how did you even get the garlic powder when the garlic powder is in the cabinet? And then if there's anything on the edge of the counter, it has to be pushed back. I have a cabinet, a bottom cabinet. I gotta put this down. Sorry, I have a bottom cabinet by the stove filled with Tupperwares. I'm cooking. He goes and he hangs out with me in the kitchen. What does he do? Pulls all the Tupperwares out. I have a syrup randomly in there because it's too tall to fit in the other stoves. So it's down there. He's like just pulling everything out. Plays with them. While I'm cooking, there's Tupperwares spread around the kitchen. There's one right there right now. Like, it's just all over the house. Tupperwares. He's a mess.
Yeah, Milo's at the stage too where like if you're holding him around anything, he's trying to grab it. So like even like the other night, Jamal and I went to dinner with Milo, and Jamal was holding him, so Jamal has his drink and it has a straw. So Milo, he grabbed, like, he was going for the cup, but then he ended up only catching the straw, but we thought the cup was gonna spill. So he grabs the straw and like the cup shook a little bit, but then it ended up not spilling. He just took the whole straw out. So Jamal and I, we're cracking up because we're like, oh my gosh, he almost dropped the cup. And he's done that to us before. And then all of a sudden his fast little chubby hand just goes and grabs the cup, and he spilled it all over the place.
Oh my God, are you serious? That was
And I
outside?
Yeah, we were out to dinner. So I guess the server felt bad, so she went and she got Jamal a replacement drink from the bar, and I guess that was good because I mean, who the hell wants to pay for a drink that they didn't even drink? Jamal probably took like 2 sips. Yeah, Milo's just at that stage where he's literally grabbing. If he was to sit right here, he'd be grabbing this, the laptop. He loves laptops. He loves phones. He loves anything that is not a toy.
Yeah.
Just to put it that way.
Babies don't even need toys.
They don't.
Babies don't need toys. Kyle has an entire toy box. He'll take 3 toys out of it. He'll leave it there in his room. He walks out the room, forgot he was even playing with the toys. And then comes out here, he's playing with the pillows. Excuse me. He tore this plant apart. This is a fake plant, though. Anyway, he tore the plant apart. It's missing a leaf. I had to like finesse it for the video, make sure it still looked good. But I had to fix it or throw it out or something. But it's just a mess. But it's not all.
Crazy.
Oh wait, one more thing before we
They're
close
crazy.
out. When Kyle was like around Milo's age or like a month earlier, we started like giving. Well, not we started, but we would give Kyle smoothies, right? Or we still do. So, anyways, I was using a straw for my smoothie. He finished his smoothie. I'm holding him right here. I have my cup right here with the straw. I'm drinking the straw. This boy snatched the straw out of my mouth and put it in his to drink my smoothie.
It's so funny.
I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Milo,
right on my mouth.
when we were on vacation, so the drink that I had was like a signature drink from the resort. So the drink was named after the resort. That was like their like specialty. But it had bananas, mangoes, peaches, and strawberry in it. It was delicious. So the alcohol was really delicious. But so when like we would order our drinks, Jamal and I, we'll order a virgin one, and we put it in Milo's sippy cup. He was loving that thing, like, and it was so good. Like, it tastes so fresh. It's so like fruity. Like, it was so good.
Yeah,
doctor, so don't listen to me. But I make his food. But like if we're ever leaving the house, I always have a banana one in his book bag just in case if he would need it. But like whenever I sit down to eat, Jamal and I will order like a side of mashed potatoes specifically for Milo, or like if they have sweet potato or whatever, like something that he can eat. But I'm not really a fan of those. And then it's literally a smoothie because they puree it so much that for me it's like it's no substance
It's just
for
like
Milo.
juice, like feeding him juice.
Yeah, like if I make Milo something, I smush it up obviously, but I don't puree it where it's a liquid. So like it has some type of texture to it. So when he puts it in his mouth, like it looks like he's chewing or like he's messing with it in his mouth. But literally those baby foods in there, you put it in their mouth and they're swallowing it.
Yeah, just in one gulp. They're not even like gnashing it or nothing.
Yeah, so like that's why that's a whole other reason why I'd rather just make his food because at least you get to make it to your tasting where like it has some texture, it has a good flavor, like what you put in the food. So that's another thing for me is like I know what I'm putting in his food and I know what I'm not. So I don't really trust the whole packaged baby food. But obviously it's okay for your baby to eat because it's sold, but I do know there was a recall, but I think that recall is over with by now. It's been like a year.
Yo, he just scared the mess
Like,
out.
what are they talking about?
They were talking about some bullshit.
Right.
But damn, I forgot. I was about to say one more thing, and I forgot it. Oh, the one more thing about the food and stuff. That's another reason. One of the reasons that I like staying home because I get to see what he eats all day long.
That's another thing.
I get
yeah.
to try new things with him.
And be around him where you can see if it affected him.
Exactly. Like I don't have to call anybody and ask, oh, what did you feed him or whatever.
Yeah.
And Kaya is vegan, so we're raising him vegan.
That's
so
another reason for you.
yeah, like if he can't eat certain like chips, or like
Obviously no meat,
yeah,
no cheese.
he can't eat any of that stuff. And there's usually with my grandma, like I have to keep reminding her about specific things that he can't have or whatever. And, she's from a different generation, so she's just like, no, it's fine, he can eat that. I'm like, no, he cannot have that. It has stuff in it that he's never had before. Now he has had cheese like 3 times now, but it's mostly times that like that's what we're gonna eat and there's no option for him.
Yeah.
So I just have let him have it, and he hasn't had a bad reaction to it, so that's good.
Yeah.
But and obviously, just disclaimer: if when he gets older, if he doesn't want to be vegan, because we're not in a cult, we're not forcing.
Like for us, Milo isn't a vegan, but we just monitor what he eats. Like the first time he ever really had any type of so first off, when my grandmother makes she's made chicken soup before where there's potatoes and stuff in it. I've given him the potatoes and smushed them. So I already had an idea that he wasn't allergic to say chicken because the chicken is soaked in that soup. So obviously, right. But the first time he ever really had actual meat, we just put it in his mouth, was on vacation. Jamal gave him a piece of lobster. Girl, he loved it.
Of
Yeah.
course he did.
And then now, recently, we just got back 2 weeks
Yo,
ago.
hold on, how extravagant is that?
Right.
You sound like a Kardashian. The first meat my baby ever ate was lobster. Yo,
You're
what the fuck?
excited.
Fucking Latino
So,
is not Kardashian.
last week he tried a piece of grilled chicken, and then obviously we're giving him little pieces because he doesn't have teeth, so we don't want him to choke.
Yeah.
So we'll give him little piece. Or if I make spaghetti that I have meat in it, normally yesterday. So normally I would always take out the pasta and then I'll break it up and then I'll put the sauce on it. Yesterday I made spaghetti and I made it with the ground beef and I just I chopped up the spaghetti and the ground beef's already fine when you make it like that because you're smushing it. So he had eat that yesterday. But so I know things that he likes or how he reacts to certain things. But also for us before I got pregnant, Jamal and I, we weren't eating any red meat. So I think I read it on Friday.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you did that in case I didn't.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Right.
That's crazy. Well, yeah. So, I think that was a good talk. One more thing I just want to say, since we were on the topic of like feeding our kids, don't be scared like to give your kid new things. You know.
Oh yeah.
And especially if your kid is like a picky eater or something, first of all, to avoid having a picky eater, just keep giving them all these new things, you know? And if your baby's fat as heck like ours,
Right.
they will eat anything that you put in front of them.
Right.
Eventually.
I've read before where it says if you introduce a variety of foods to your baby prior to them turning 1 year old, it's less likely, I forgot the percentage, but it's a certain percentage, it's less likely for them to not like the food or be picky towards it when they start eating on their own.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah. Well, y'all let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you guys are feeding your baby.
Yes.
Let us know if you're stressed out staying at home as a parent. Let us know if you dream of being a stay-at-home parent when you.
and let us know if you want to catch a drink after your long day of staying at home with your baby.
Because my baby goes to sleep at 7, so.
But thank you guys for tuning in. As always, reach out to us.
Yeah. Keep
Thank you for
commenting.
supporting. Yes, thank you for all the good comments.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody.